And hopefully tech will be on our side today and we can pull off the live stream. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie. I'm your host, and I am so happy to be here. You are listening to 12radio.com, where we're changing the way you listen to the world. It is the 29th of September, and we are live. It's 11 a.m. Pacific time, but if you're listening to an archive or a replay, or watching the live stream or the simulcast, or watching us later on YouTube or whatever, welcome. I'm glad to have everybody here. I do want to let you know that I am live streaming this event from my Facebook page and my YouTube channel. So you can find it on Facebook, Katie Weaver, Domestic Mystic, or you can find it over on YouTube, Domestic Mystic on YouTube. So easy to find, and I am certainly happy to have you guys any way I can get you. I'm going to share the live stream into the chat room right now too. Now, if you would like to chat with us and you've never joined the chat room before, it is a Facebook chat, and all you have to do is head over to 12radio.com. That's number 2radio.com. Click on the chat button, and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. So easy enough to do. You will want to ask for entry if you've never joined before, and my talented and gifted producer, Scott, is standing by, and he'll gladly let you in the room. So you'll see my banner at the top of the page, and that's where a lot of our chatting is going on. And of course, you'll also see my live stream in there. I just shared it so you can find it. I am keeping an eye on all chats, so I can multitask like that. I'm a mother. So if you are wanting to watch or to drop a question or a comment in any of those places, I should see it. So I would love to definitely love to be chatting with you guys. I accidentally shared this to my main Facebook page, which is not where I want it. So I'm going to delete that quick here. I've already been on radio this morning. For those of you guys who were with me this morning, I was on the Psychic Cat show first thing this morning, and we had a very nice time, a great visit. And it was really nice to be able to catch up with her. She's getting married on Thursday. So all the congratulations to Kat. We're so excited for you. And it was really fun to do her show. If you didn't catch it, definitely watch for the replay. All righty. Well, with all of that housekeeping out of the way, I think we've covered it all. I hope you guys are having a good week. Thursday is a full moon. So we have a pretty cool October this year because Thursday is a full moon, which means that Halloween is also a full moon. So we get to have a blue moon this year on Halloween, which is it's pretty rare. That doesn't happen very often. And I'm super, super excited for that. But in the meantime, here we are, and we get to have a full moon right on the 1st. So, of course, we'll be doing full moon fairy tale tarot today for that reason. I've already got the card pulled, and I'm all ready for that. But we've got all kinds of things to do. So I want to talk to you for a minute about Christy and I's podcast. As many of you know, we have a true crime paranormal podcast. You can listen to it pretty much on any channel, that you listen to podcasts on, but we also have it on YouTube. So I'm going to share a link from our latest show, but you can also find it if you just go to YouTube and look for True Crime Paranormal. We should come right up. So our show this week was about children who remember their past lives and a few instances in which children not just remembered their past lives, but solved their own murders. Yes, it has happened because not all cultures are so weird about past lives. Some cultures absolutely embrace them. And when children start talking about their past lives, people listen and investigate and carry out, their plans or look into what they're telling them. And Christy and I reported on several really interesting stories where children were remembering their past lives and were taken to their villages or their towns, and they actually solved their own murders. Pretty interesting stuff. And we shared a few other stories. A little boy from Los Angeles who was Lou Gehrig, and can tell you all about it. Really interesting. So if you want to watch that episode, just head over to YouTube and look for True Crime Paranormal or look for any of our podcast carriers and you'll find us. So pretty cool. I realized that I don't talk about past lives on this show enough from doing that show. I have such a passion for past lives and I forget sometimes what, I don't know what happens, right? I just fall into a rut or a rabbit hole or something. And I forget some of my own passions, and past lives is definitely one of them. So I'm going to remedy that. We're going to start having a past life week. You know, somebody mentioned to me, you used to do animal communication on the first show of the month, and you don't do that anymore. And I really wish you did. And I thought, I really wish I did too. I don't know why it went away. I don't know, but we're going to get back to that. So the first show of the month will always be animal communication. The second show of the month is going to be past lives. Now, it doesn't mean we won't talk about other things or read from other people's questions if we need to, but I'm going to focus quite a bit on past lives and share stories and experiences and do past life channelings for you guys and things like that. And then, of course, the third show of the month is always the show where I read from my deck and all of my colleagues' decks. And then the fourth show of the month, I think, is just going to be a toss up. We'll leave that one to spirit, right? Maybe something will come through, but I don't know. I'm kind of cool on just letting it be whatever it's supposed to be. So we'll see. Anyway, so that is that. I wanted to make sure you guys saw that episode because it's just really, really fascinating stuff. Alrighty, well, let's take a look at Luminous. You know that I publish a magazine every week. It is a compilation of work from myself and from a multitude of my colleagues over at One Two Listen and some friends. And it's so freaking good this week. I wanted to make sure you guys saw it. So I'm going to put it in the chat room, but you can also find it by heading over to katie-weaver.com and just clicking on the Luminous Magazine button. If you do that, it will look super tiny, but there's a little arrow thing that like shoots all four directions. And all you have to do is click on it and it'll, big screen it for you. So that's all you have to do. It's, and you can look at it there. So let's look at a few things with Luminous, loving the cover, all fallish and magical and just what we're feeling right now, right? All right. So one big excitement we had, if you were listening to Kelly's show Thursday night that I was a guest on, you know that we had big wins on Thursday. One of them blew one of our gates open, and we didn't know. And one of our little mini pigs wandered out into the night and scared the hell out of us. Just as I went on Kelly's show, Scott realized that she was missing. How did he know? Because we fed them dinner and she didn't come running. And that's just not like pigs. And he was out looking. And eventually I actually had to leave Kelly's show and go help look for her. I found her 4 doors down across the street, just chilling in the neighbor's yard. When I saw her and called her, she saw me and started. Pigs have a lot of different sounds that mean different things. And they have this kind of, it's kind of an oink, but it's like, yeah. Are you dying? I can't believe I did that on air. But it's kind of a shuffly sound like that, or a snarfly sound. I don't know if that's a word. When they're happy. And when she saw me, she started making that noise and running towards me. And she was scared. Pigs don't see very well in the dark. So she was out in the dark, had wandered too far and was scared and didn't know how to come home. So with some love and some coaxing and a few treats, we got her back in the house and all was well. And I was able to go back to Kelly's show. Whew, that's never happened before. I sure hope it never happens again. Rest assured, that gate has been secured in a way that there's no way in hell it would ever blow open again, but yikes. Not cool, guys. She is all black with a little tiny bit of white on one hoof and on a little tuft on her forehead. Had she gotten out onto a main road in the dark? I don't even want to think. Could have been bad, but we got her home. So let's see. Janie from the chat said, I'm new here. Can you explain to me how this works? Janie, this is a live stream from my radio show over at 12radio.com. And so here on this show, we talk about spirituality, we do some singing bowl work, we do some readings from the chat room. I sometimes share some of my creations, like I will today. Mostly, we're here to hang out and have fun together and maybe learn a little bit together and be in a space of like minded friends. And so, welcome. I'm so happy that you are here. Yeah, nice to have you guys around. And anyone else who's new, please introduce yourself. If you're brand new, let me know because I don't always know. I'm seeing Tammy. Tammy, you might be new as well. I'm not sure, but welcome to you and Jamie. You guys are all fairly new faces to me, so I wanted to make sure I welcome you. But if there's other newbies here, please don't let me miss you. I'm just glad to have you here. You will discover that our chats are very hospitable, kind, lovely places to be. And many of you guys who don't really have spiritual communities, or very many people that you can share spirituality with, you enjoy these chats a whole lot. Because why? Because people here are nice, we're not judgmental, and we will totally accept your beliefs. We have some too. Yep. Nice. Okay. Oh, Tammy is new. Tammy, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. Okay. And yes, you guys, I will get to some readings later in the show, I promise. All right. Let's take a quick look at Luminous then. I called this the Going Within edition because it just feels to me like this is an introspective week. In fact, that's what came up this morning with the Daily Dish. It feels like an introspective week where maybe we just are going within a little bit more. Maybe we're a little more quiet. Maybe we're looking a little more for a good book to read or a good meditation. We need things to slow down. All of you empaths, you can't take any more stress and pressure. I know, I get you. My musings in the article, in the magazine this week, my article, 99 Ways to Feel Better Right Now. If you listened to Kelly's show on Thursday night, we did a show together. She asked me to come up with 50 things to help you feel better right now. She also came up with 50 things, and we were presenting 100 things to feel better right now. We did overlap a tiny bit, so she shortened the list to 99. But can you believe that when we put our heads together and when we both, individually made our lists, that we hardly intersected at all? So I'm not going to go through the list. I don't have time, but we also already did that on her show. But if you'd like to read through it, this is for those days when you've had enough, when you don't feel good, when you're overwhelmed, or when you just want to do something good for yourself. Read through my list and hers and decide if there's something on there that maybe is something you could do to feel better right now. All righty. Kelly's article, Bitch Scopes for the week. She calls it Hug It Out, Bitch. Guess it's time for us to get along. My tip this week is hanging a besom or broom on your front door. Have you ever wondered why around the holiday or around Halloween, besides the fact that we'll see brooms to maybe represent a witch's broom, they are, but what do you do with that broom? A lot of times you can get the ones that are cinnamon scented or with a fancy bow, stuff like that. Well, you hang them on your front door with the bristles up. This is important. Bristles go up to whisk away the negative energy at the door so that as people are coming and going from your home, we're sweeping away all of their garbage before they come in the door. I usually make a broom and hang it on my front door. I suspect I'm going to buy one this year because I just don't know if I have time this year, but there will definitely be a broom going on my door here in the next few days or next to the door because I made that really cool wreath last year that's going to have to go on the door because, I spend a fortune on it. It can't be a one-time use. Anyhow, so hang a besom or a witch's broom on your front door. Now you know why. So many other great articles in Luminous this week. And I'll let you guys go through that on your own, but I hope that you see it. If you would like to subscribe to receive Luminous, all you have to do is head over to katie-weaver.com. There's a little pop-up box that comes up. If you subscribe right there, then I will send you my daily reading, the Domestic Mystics Daily Dish. You'll get it every single morning at 6 a.m. Mountain Time. And you will get uh, your subscription of Luminous that will come out every Tuesday morning as well. So I'll send you 8 emails a week. I swear on a stack, I will never do anything with your email besides just use it to send you cool stuff. That's it. I would never share it, and I promise to not abuse it. But that's how you do it. Okay. Well, as promised, I had a few things to share. Those of you that have been here, you know I have been prepping for a witches market that was over the weekend. Christy and I had a booth, and Scott and I have been working. My husband Scott and I have been working hard on having all of our product together, and the fair was fantastic. It was. We had a ton of fun. It was awesome. Really, just couldn't wish for more. But I certainly have some stuff to share with you guys. So the stuff I'm sharing with you right now will all go on Etsy later this afternoon. But I wanted to give you guys first crack at it. And so if you see something that you want, send me a note and I will send you the Etsy link as soon as it goes live. So that's how we're going to do this, because you guys always, you've been so supportive of all of my work and creations. And I want to make sure that you get an opportunity to pick something up if you want one. So a few things. So the keychains are going up today. They're the alphabet. They are resin alphabet letter with a key or a feather in them and a tassel. You'll be able to choose whether you want a feather or a key, what color tassel you want. So those are going up today. I love these because they're just so full of plant magic with all of these happy little feathers or flowers in them. And of course, the feathers or the keys. I love them. These did super well at the fair, by the way. People loved them. Yep. So those will go up today. So if you're wanting to order one of those, just let me know and I'll send you the link when it goes live. But now these are I'm going to show you a few specialized pieces that I only have one of. So if you want it, you're going to have to speak quick and I will send you the link. But I'm going to show you a tray. This is a 3-tiered tray made out of resin. And it's purplish, kind of a purplish rosish color. And every tier has a triquetra on it. It has silver hardware. I have been keeping one of these next to my diffuser. It's an awesome little tray for holding essential oils. You can put some crystals on it too. It's not wimpy, you know. You wouldn't put super heavy stuff on there, but it's not really big enough for that anyway. It's also food safe so that you could put cupcakes or treats or snacks or whatever magical things you want to, want to have or do. I don't know if I'm giving you a good look at that at all. But anyway, so that's one thing to think about. And I would be happy to send that to you if it's something that you want. I'll send you the link. And that will be $50 on Etsy so that you know. All right. You know that Scott built some really cool kits. He built some space clearing kits that we sold out of and have, believe it or not, 14 pre-orders for. And so we're going to be doing space clearing kits for a while. But he also made a really cool candle magic kit. And the candle magic kits we only have one right now, but I'm going to show it to you. It is going on Etsy today. It'll go up on Etsy for $70. So it is a box. And it has a tree of life engraved in the top of it. And then in the box, it's flocked in red. With your magical stuff, you always want it to be lined in red because red holds in the energy of whatever you've put in there, and it protects the energy of whatever you put in there. So that's why it's always red. So this has a witch's knife and athame in it that Scott did make. And then the box itself has a tray that comes out. And the tray, so that you have a tray to actually do your candle magic in, right? And the tray we have 5 candlesticks. It has a bottle of anointing oil for your candles. And the anointing oil is frankincense and spikenard in a carrier oil. I made that. That's to me, spikenard is such an old, ancient goddess oil. And then spikenard or frankincense, of course, is too. Perfect for anointing your candles. Matches, of course. And then a whole bunch of candles, right? You got to have lots of candles to get you started. So that's what it is. It's a kit to really get going on candle magic, if candle magic sings to your soul. But it also is a great way to store some of your magical stuff. I don't know about you guys, but my house, I need lots of boxes and things to store my stuff in for sure. So that's what it's all about. And so if you're interested in that, please let me know. And I will send you the link as soon as it posts on Etsy. But that's what it is. Okay. And then he made 2 recharging boxes that are so beautiful. So what is a recharging box? In case you're wondering, recharging boxes are boxes to keep your magical stuff in, to keep the energy within. So this one, it has a flying ankh engraved on the top of it. And of course, it is lined in red for that reason. So this is the box that you would charge up a crystal and put inside. And then anything you put in here will get charged with your crystal and your intentions. So that's what recharging boxes are. So I have this one, the flying ankh, which I just think is super freaking cool. And then, of course, there's one more, and it is a phoenix. So, and of course, it is lined in red, as it should be. All right, so that's all for show and tell today. But if you see anything there that you want me to send you the Etsy link to when they post, I will gladly do that. We're just going to stick with Etsy and do it all that way because it makes it a lot easier for me to ship it, to keep track of it, all of that good stuff. So let me know if there's anything you're interested in. And let's keep going. Just checking out the chat room here. And of course, the space clearing kit, you guys, you can pre-order one from me. And in fact, if you're wanting one before Christmas, you really should, because at this rate, it's going to take a while to get them all done. So if you want to see the space clearing kits, just head over to my Facebook page, to Katie Brower Weaver. And there is, or to my fan page, Katie Weaver, Domestic Mystic. And there's a video there of the space clearing kits. They're freaking awesome. When I have one done that I can show you guys, I promise I will. But at this rate, I can't. I'm not sure how long it's going to take, because that's a lot of building for Scott to do, which, he's great. It's no problem, but it's a lot of stuff. All right, let's do Fairy Tale Tarot. So every month around the full moon, we pull a card from the Fairy Tale Tarot deck. This is a deck by Lisa Hunt. This was a deck I inherited from my mom that I just think is really fun. So we pull a card, we read the story, and then we interpret what it means for all of us for the full moon. So this is a collective reading. So I already pulled the card. I'm going to read the story. I'll keep an eye on the chat rooms when I'm done. If you guys want to share your interpretation or share anything you want to about the story, please do. This is one of my favorite parts. We will collab together here, right? All righty. So the card that I pulled actually is the 10 of Swords. So if you're in the live stream and you can see it, or if you're not, it is a guy in a flying chest or trunk of some sort. It's pretty ornate. There is some mountains in the background. There is a castle in the background. There's a lot of like swirly clouds and things in the air. That's what it looks like. So the 10 of Swords. So the story itself is Danish. It is called The Flying Trunk. The keywords are setbacks, financial troubles, and ruin. Well, I'm not liking this already. Okay. We'll figure it out. Once upon a time, there was a merchant who was a prudent investor. He saved his earnings and died a wealthy man. But his son, having inherited his money, spent it foolishly. It wasn't long before his son was reduced to 4 pennies, worn slippers, and a robe. He quickly fell out of favor with his friends and was given a trunk with a note that said, "Pack up and go." Wow, sound like some great friends, eh? But the merchant's son had nothing to pack. Instead, he sat inside the trunk and pushed the lock. Up the trunk flew through the clouds and into distant lands. He, as all trunks would do, if you climb inside of them. He landed his trunk in a forest next to a Turkish city and hid the trunk under some leaves. He walked the streets and asked an old peasant woman about the glorious palace in the distance. "That is where the Sultan's daughter lives," she said. "She cannot see anyone, for it has been prophesied that she would endure great suffering if she fell in love." Of course. Don't we have to suffer? Isn't that one of the messages of society, right? Hmm. The merchant's son returned to the forest and climbed into the trunk. He flew up to the upper reaches of the palace and came to the window of the princess's suite. Sure, because if you know that falling in love would create great sadness and suffering for someone, you would definitely want to go fall in love with them post haste. He looked inside and saw the princess. This is not creepy at all. Lying on her royal bed. She was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen, and he couldn't help but kiss her. Good God. Are every one of these like this? These fairy tales? Some princess in duress with some man that breaks into her bedroom and sexually assaults her? All right. Maybe that's going too far. We'll see. The kiss startled her awake, and she didn't beat the shit out of him. But the merchant was so smooth and poetic with his words that he put her at ease. Maybe a good kisser? She relaxed in the hands of the storyteller, who spun fantastic tales like none she had ever heard. "I am a great prophet who has been riding the skies in search of the perfect wife." When the charlatan finished, he asked the princess to be his wife. The so called prophet and his ability to deliver spellbinding prose charmed the princess. Without pause, she agreed. Again, he knows that marrying her is going to cause great suffering for her. I guess that doesn't matter. Okay, come back on Sunday to meet my parents. The princess said, "Be sure to prepare your best stories for the meeting." She gave the merchant's son a saber covered in gold coins and sent him off with a kiss. He removed one of the gold coins and bought a new robe to impress the princess's parents. On Saturday, he returned to the palace and began to charm the royal couple with his dazzling and comical tales about inanimate objects. He was such an entertaining communicator that the story won over the king and queen, and a wedding date was set. Because they don't care about their daughter's suffering either, I guess. On the day of the wedding, the merchant's son flew into town with his trunk. From above, he could see the fanfare surrounding the upcoming marriage. The whole town was ablaze with cheer. The merchant's son wanted to make a good impression on the public, so he took another coin from his saber, bought fireworks, and filled up the trunk with them. He flew above the gathering ground and gave them a spectacular light show. The people were in awe at the pageantry and deduced that he must indeed be a prophet. He flew back to the forest and haphazardly covered the trunk with dry brush before returning to town. He wanted to clear all the praise that was sure to follow. Oh, he wanted to hear all of the praise that was sure to follow his fireworks spectacle. And indeed, people spoke endlessly about the amazing tricks of the prophet. Chad Daybell, anyone? But while he lingered in the presence of his adoring public, residual sparks had flown into the forest and set his trunk on fire. When he returned, his trunk had been reduced to a pile of ashes. Without the trunk, the merchant's son could not fly to the roof of the palace to meet his bride. So he left and never turned back. He took his stories to other places and made a living being a professional storyteller. Meanwhile, the princess waited all day for her betrothed. As prophesied, she endured great heartache when her husband to be never showed and instead left her standing alone on the roof. The hell? Okay. Symbols and meaning. Here's some symbols from the author. She says the flying trunk represents uncertainty. The trunk is adorned with swords that enhance the illusion of movement. The clouds are blowing past swiftly, suggesting the temporal nature of the magical vehicle. The lad does not hold on to the trunk, suggesting an inability to be responsible. The island below is an oasis of towers surrounded by fog, representing the wisdom lying untouched in the psyche. The body of water is the unconscious. Okay. She says the transience of the trunk is a metaphor for the unpredictable nature of life events. Be prepared for ups and downs and take actions to help modify the effects of an unstable situation. Look back at past mistakes and try not to repeat them as you face possible setbacks. Okay, so it's a collective reading for the next 2 weeks, right? So let me tell you what I got from that and where I'm going, and then I would love to hear your opinions as well. I feel like the next 2 weeks, energetically and financially, will be some pretty good ups and downs. Be prepared for some unexpected expenses. This is a time where I think we could see things like, the water pump go out of your car, or, some crazy thing like that, the fridge die, or, unexpected expenses. So we're not going to manifest them. We're sure not going to hope for them, but we're going to be prepared with an action plan if something were to go awry. So that's number one. The second part of this is from an energetic place. I feel like we're going to have some big surges in energy and some setbacks. I feel like we're going to have some time where we feel like we're really surging forward. We feel really energetic. We feel really creative. And some other times where we feel like we just can't get out of bed. Honor that. If you have those days where you feel like you just cannot function, the collective energy is giving you that. Give yourself plenty of chances to rest the next couple of weeks. Give yourself plenty of chances to do things that you do enjoy, and don't push too hard. You can mow the lawn later. You can do the laundry later, but you can't necessarily rest and give yourself some nurturing later. This is not a time to overdo it or push yourself too hard. The other part of that is that you are going to see other people in a lot of chaos the next couple of weeks. Resist the urge to get too involved. Focus on yourself, eyes on your own paper as much as possible. You may have to serve as support to some of those closest to you, and that's okay. Support without giving up too much. Do not give money you don't have. Do not give time that you don't have. Be loving, be supportive, be kind, but don't sell the farm for somebody else right now. You really can't. And sometimes, you guys, you're bad for learning other people's lessons for them instead of letting them learn them and figure their own stuff out while you just support them. So be sure that you are not falling into that this next couple of weeks. So that's where it's at for me. So excellent self-care, being wise with your money, being prepared for something to, potentially need a little more of your money or time than you expected. We're going to expect some of the unexpected, right? And it's going to be okay. So that is my interpretation of the full moon card for this month. Alrighty, so looking into the chat room, Lillian says, all those fairy tales are creepy, right? The hell? Anyway, she said, yeah, he's definitely Chad. Yeah, definitely. Chaos? I can't imagine why, right? We are in a state of chaos, but we are okay. All right, just jumping really quick here into the other chat. And again, if you have anything you want to add to the story, I'm always happy to see What you guys say? All righty. Pamela says, that sounds like an appropriate card for 2020. No kidding, huh? Sid said the message from that fairy tale covers the past year with nothing but surprises, right? Yep. And yet we thrive, right? We continue to rise, we continue to thrive. Just a little more challenging than we might have thought, but you know what? We are a lot tougher than we thought we were. That is right. Okay. Chris said fractured fairy tales for sure. All righty. So there you have it. That is the fairy tale tarot for this month. Hello, Corin. Welcome. Okay. I want to do a little singing bowl work and then let's do some readings from the chat. So I brought with me today a crystal bowl. This is a solar plexus bowl. So it is in the note of E. And interesting because I felt like what we needed was a good boost in self esteem and personal power. And after doing that reading for the full moon, I think, yeah, definitely we could use some help with self esteem and personal power. So we're working on the solar plexus. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to play the bowl and we're going to do it 2 times. The first time I play it, I just want you to focus your energy in your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is a chakra that is right above your belly button. Most people see it as yellow. Just put your hands there, and that will focus your energy there. You don't have to do anything special or fancy. The first time I do it, all I want you to do is hold the intention that the frequency and the vibration of the singing bowl will clear out anything you're carrying that you don't need. Any blocks, cords, attachments, psychic debris, psychic attack, old stuff, whatever it is, we're just going to clear it out of your belly. So we're going to do that first. So go ahead and join me now, right in that solar plexus. Okay, very good. All right, so I'm going to play the bowl one more time. This time we're going to turn up your light. So your solar plexus is yellow, but some people see it as gold. What we're going to do, I'm going to turn the or play the bowl, and I'm going to ask you to envision that solar plexus light. It usually starts around the size of a volleyball, emanating from your belly. And I would like you to envision that light getting brighter and brighter and bigger until it has enveloped your whole body, really turning it up. Why? Because you guys have got to shine your lights. We have all got to shine our lights. We've got to illuminate this world. We also have got to give ourselves permission to be who we are, to stand in our own truth and our own power. So, amping up that solar plexus light is the easiest, fastest, and most productive way to do that. So, again, I will play the bowl. I just want you to envision that light getting brighter and brighter and bigger until it has completely wrapped you up in that bright yellow golden light. Okay, here we go. So good. All right, deep breaths. I hope that felt good. Your light ought to be shining bright now. Now, don't hide it. Keep an eye on your body language. You'll catch yourself, especially women, we're terrible for it. We cover up our bellies. Why? Because you're covering up that light. If you're doing that, if you catch yourself putting your hands over your belly, your purse, your hoodie, whatever it is that you're like wrapping over in front of you, think about where you are, what you're doing, and why you're uncomfortable with your light. What is it that's got you wanting to turn your power down? Now, look, if that's what you need to do, maybe you're in a space with other people that you're not super comfortable with, or maybe you're in Walmart and you just would like to be invisible rather than shining brightly. That's fine. Just pay attention to it. Pay attention to that belly, to why and when you cover it. It just gives you some insight into where your comfort level is. And it also might make you decide, hey, you know what? No, I do want to shine. I am not going to hide myself. I'm not going to hide my light anymore. But again, there's no judgment. If you're in a place that you're uncomfortable and you're hiding your light because you don't want to be seen, I get it. I do. That's the story of my life in Walmart. I always pick on Walmart. You know why? Because I live in a little town and Walmart, we have Walmart and two grocery stores. That's it. As far as like going to, you know, get supplies and stuff you need. If we had more, I would never set foot in Walmart again because of the energy in there. But unfortunately, I just don't always have a choice. So I always, talk shit on Walmart. It's mostly because it's all I have. But no real offense to Walmart or anyone who works there. It's just, you know, it's what I got. We used to have a Kmart, and I loved it so much. I worked at Kmart when I was in high school and in college, and I used to always go in there and see my old friends, and it wasn't nearly as crowded as Walmart. And then, of course, as you know, Kmart's closed. Sad day. Anyway, you aren't all that interested in my shopping adventures. But let's jump into the chat room, you guys, and do a few readings. I know I won't get to everybody, but I'm going to give it my best here. Okay. Maureen said she wishes she needs to put a broom like that on the front of her work to whisk away the negative energy as people enter. Maybe you could, as a cute Halloween decoration. It would be great. Maybe just put an energetic one there, Maureen, right? Envision stamping one on that door. Okay. Lillian said she wishes that she was a kid again, a full moon on Halloween, right? It's the great pumpkin, Charlie Brown. That's what it made me think of. I am definitely going to be soaking up that moon, without a doubt. Okay, let's see. I know I had some requests here for readings. Oh, Tammy has a podcast. She said she's also doing animal communication. That's right. That's where it's at, huh, Tammy? I'm with you. Janie said, what color am I feeling today? Purple. It's always purple. That's always my answer. Everything is purple for me. Okay. All right. Lillian said, I'm headed there later today. Oh, I've read a few books on past lives and children's memories. We seem to remember our past lives up to 5 or so. Yeah, 5 or 6. Children aren't jaded by society. What they remember is real. Absolutely. All right. Janie wanted a reading. Absolutely. Let me tune into you. All right, Janie, for you, it's about people. It's about people. A couple of things. First of all, your aura gets too big. You end up with a bubble that's too big. And then having people anywhere near it, even people you care about, is too much for you and creates anxiety. Know that. And when you start feeling that, do some breath work and really just envision that big aura or that big bubble just coming in a little bit. Nobody wants their aura like sucked tight to their body. That also is an awful feeling that will have to be fixed. But getting too big, and here's why you get too big. You actually inherently have a big crown chakra. I feel like your sense of spirituality and of the universe around you is quite strong. And it just, you end up spending a lot of time in your upper three chakras and you just get too big. It's like you only have one toe on the floor, right? Which is fine. That's a fun place to live. But then your aura gets too big and it creates that irritated feeling that makes you really not want to have to go around people or out in public, or it affects you. So do some breath work and imagine that big deal sucking in a little bit into, a few inches off your body rather than a few feet. That's going to make a big difference for you. But so that was the first thing that comes up for me. But the other one is this: you have a great internal lie detector. You really know people. The problem is you're also an empath. And so then you feel bad because you know people. So, for example, you might meet somebody, a friend, a colleague, a neighbor or whatnot, and you instantly don't like them. And then you judge yourself. Like, what's wrong with me? Am I just being a jerk? They've done nothing to me. Well, honey, you got to trust that. You got to trust it more because I know that you can look back on your life and think about times when, damn it, I knew, I knew I shouldn't have trusted them. I knew there was something off with that person. Trust it now. Quit judging yourself and acting like you have to put yourself at a higher standard than everybody else. When you get those fives off of people, you can trust that. That is your spidey senses. That's your great internal sense of what's true and what's right. Trust it. Give yourself permission to trust it. Okay. So let's work on that aura. And if you ever want some help working on that, I will certainly help you with it. But really, let's work on trusting your gut. You know. All right. Tammy says, today is my son's 33rd birthday. Happy birthday. Any message for me today on this fantastic day? Let's see, Tammy. Let's see what we've got here for you. My gosh. All right, Tammy. So I love your heart. You are one of those people who, as a kid, was constantly wanting to drag home the strays, the animals, the children, the whatever. Such a deep empath. Tammy, I'll bet you, looking back at you as a kid, I would imagine that you were the kid who had the tummy ache, right? You were the kid whose tummy hurt all the time. You were so empathic. I feel like you worked double time with your parents to make sure they were happy because, and they weren't always, but to make sure that other people were happy because you took a personal responsibility on to make sure everybody else around you felt okay. Why? Because you were an empathic kid. And if other people felt off, sad, sick, unhappy, depressed, it had such a profound effect on you. So it still does as an adult, but I feel like you've learned how to process it a whole lot better than you did. But you have that enormous heart. I feel like you're the person that can be counted on to be kinder than necessary. You're the person, and I think this is something really fun about you. You don't know how many lives you have changed or touched for the better just by your regular demeanor. For example, you go into Starbucks. You're super sweet to the barista. She's had a horrible morning. You don't know that, or maybe you have a sense of it, but it's just your normal demeanor to just be extra kind and extra complimentary and sweet. You turned her day around. You've done that so many times for people in various capacities that I don't even think you know. I can see random people like in the grocery store line spilling their guts, telling you stuff that you're like, why is the stranger telling me this stuff? But it's because you have that kind of energy. You're a born healer, a born counselor. I absolutely love what you're doing, Tammy, because it's perfect, perfect for who you are. And I love that you know you. I know it's taken some time to get here. I know it's taken some pain to get here, but you know you now. And you're doing the work that you were born to do. So keep going. Keep doing what you're doing. Protect that empathic heart every once in a while, though, will you please? Okay. Just taking a peek in the chat here. Let's see. Yep. Yep. Janie said she's an Aquarius, so she really likes knowing people. Yeah, you would. Absolutely. That is absolutely how it is. All righty. All right. Hello, Deb. Yes, Deb, let's pull a message for you as well. Janie, you can throw out a question. I will try. I'll do my best to get to it. Absolutely. Yep. All righty. Okay. Deb, you've got some inklings of things you'd like to do that I think would surprise the people around you. You have gone through so many transformations here in the last 2 or 3 years, and I really see some potentially a change of career or adding a career. I also feel like there's some travel that you've been dreaming about. I suspect that you will maybe not immediately because of, we're still kind of living in COVID land, but I suspect that in the next year or so, Deb, you're going to find the money and the means to do some pretty significant traveling. Partly it's for people, but a lot of it is for what you're just being called to do, places your spirit's really calling you to visit. I suspect that this is twofold. That part of it is past life inklings, so places that you really are feeling drawn to. Some of it is ancestry. So both. But I love it because you're going to surprise your family, I think, with going, well, anyway, I'm going to Scotland or wherever, and you just keep surprising them with the changes that you've rolled out in your life. So you know that I could not be more proud of you and excited for you always. But I'm really excited to see where that takes you because you've got some dreaming going on. So now it's time to start putting one foot in front of the other, figuring out how much money would you need, when would you like to do this? Do you have a passport? Just all the stuff that comes with it and start setting some goals. They're fairly long term, but you're going to get there. So I'm excited to see what you do. Janie, should Alfonso quit his job and find a better way to make money? Yes, definitely. Or keep the job part time-ish while he finds a better way to make money. But this is not going to pan out long term and sustain the lifestyle that was hoped for. So, yep, it's time to see the writing on the wall. All righty. Jumping back into the other chat, you guys, I'm doing my best. Okay. Laurie said, I met a new guy. We had 2 dates. He seems sincere, but I can't get over this feeling he might be a bit of a player. What do you think? Laurie, I'd go really slow with him. He is sincere. I mean, that's the challenge. He is sincere, but he has a player's heart, and his history doesn't lend towards a lot of stability, but he does really like you. And I feel like your chemistry is pretty good. I would just really go slow with him. I don't know that you have to cut him out, but move slowly. All right, Rebecca, do you have any other messages about finding housing? It still comes up for me, Rebecca, that it's going to be a roommate situation that maybe it's kind of a last minute thing. I feel like this may not be the kind of roommate you expected. I would be sure that you're on every community board, like Facebook board or neighborhood board of people looking for tenants or looking for solutions, and make sure you're posting because I feel like it'll be something that is last minute and maybe not long term, which is okay for you, but that comes up for you in a sense of, getting you where you need to be for now while you make another plan. But I feel like that's how you'll find it is through some kind of an online notification board or Facebook board or something like that. All right. Really quick. Last one. Jane said, Mom took a fall in the hospital after being admitted after 2 falls at home. Oh, dear. 3 head contusions, a pelvic ring fracture from the hospital fall. Yikes, Jane. Family in major chaos, as you can imagine. She was just transferred to a rehab. No indoor visitors. I was with her all but one day in the hospital last week. When do you see her coming home? Not for a really long time, Jane, if she does. She's going to need long term rehab. They've got to figure out why she keeps falling. There's something going on here that I think they haven't actually dialed into yet. I've got a great business idea due to her fall. I'm wondering if I should pursue it. Actually, I feel like you should, and that you have a little downtime right now, considering that there's not a lot you can do for her besides get her house in order. And I'm sure you're working on that. So, yes, we will all send lots of good vibes to June Barbone in the rehab center. I'm so sorry that that has happened. So frustrating. Alrighty, you guys, you know what happens around here. We have done what we do and talked down to the end of the show. So, as you know, I'm a professional psychic advisor over at one2listen.com. You can find me over there every single day for readings, healings, mediumship, animal communication, what have you. So come and find me if I can help you out in any way. And of course, I'll be around here too if I can help you guys out with anything. You are listening to The Katie Weaver Show here on 1 2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.